Mathematics is the science of structure, order, and relation that has evolved from elemental practices of counting, measuring, and describing the shape of objects. It deals with logical reasoning and quantitative calculation, and its development has involved an increasing degree of idealization and abstraction of its subject matter. I'm Sir Phil na nagsasabing, palaging piliin mong matuto.
So today we'll be discussing simplifying expressions with rational exponent that can be represented as A over B. So we'll be using the concept of the loss of exponent that we have discussed from the previous video lesson and from the previous class. And at the same time, we're going to have the different operations on fraction. So yung mga simple operations lang na multiplying whole numbers and fractions, at the same time addition and subtraction of similar and dissimilar fractions. Okay, so let's start with the first example. So we'll go over with a lot of examples today so that you will be ready on the following week for our asynchronous session. So let's start. So kindly press 2 if you are ready na. Your notes, yourself. Ayan, press 2 lang po. Ayan, thank you. So let's start the first one. So we are given here 8 cubed raised to 1/3. Okay, dun sa nakapanood ng video lesson last time. So we are given here 8 cubed, quantity 1/3, raised to 1/3. Anong particular law of exponent ang pwede nating i-apply in this particular example? Anyone? Pwede kayo mag-raise hand or type me on the chat pane and then open your mic to answer. What particular law of exponent are we going to apply in this particular example? Yes, it is power of a power. So, on that manner, we're just going to multiply the exponent inside the parenthesis to the exponent outside the parenthesis or outside the quantity. So, we have here now 8 raised to the third power multiplied to 1/3. So, on that manner, it is an application of multiplication of a whole number to a fraction. So, ano bang ginagawa when we multiply a fraction to a whole number? So, ang whole number, i-multiply lang natin sa numerator. So, that will become now 8. So, we multiply the whole number to the numerator. So, that is 3 times 1. And which that is equal to 3 over 3. So the resulting expression now is 8 raised to 3 over 3. And what is the lowest term or the simplest form of 3 over 3? 1. Very good. So we could write it as 8 na lang kasi ang exponent na lang is 1. So therefore our final answer here is 8. Please take note what we are doing here is we simplify. Okay? So we simplify expressions with rational exponents. So our final answer here is 8. Okay? Any question regarding this one? Press 1 kung wala na. Kung naintindihan. By the way, let's have another example. Okay, let's have, for example, we have 2 to the 15th power raised to 1 over 3. Ayan. So, okay. So, what we're going to do is to copy the base. Kung natatandaan nyo dun sa previous discussion, the base here is 2. So, we copy the base 2. And then, the exponent inside the parenthesis, which is 15, multiplied to 1/3. And then we simplify. We multiply 15 to the numerator. So copy the base 2. 15 times 1 is 15 over 3. So what is the simplest form of 15 over 3? So we divide 15 by 3, that is 5. So this is now 2 to the 5th power. So in this case, we're going to evaluate this one. So when we say evaluate, we're going to have its whole number. Since the exponent of 2 is 5, this means that we're going to multiply 2 by itself 5 times. So that will become 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So yun yung ibig sabihin ng 2 to the 5th. Yung base na 2, imumultiply natin ng 5 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yung result niyan, yun yung simplest form. So what will be the result? What is the value of 2 to the 5th? Anyone? Okay, this is equal to 32. So the simplest form of 2 to the 15th quantity raised to 1/3 is 32. Okay? So let's try naman kayo. Let's have this one. We are given here x to the 6th power raised to 1/2. So variable lang yan. So you don't need to evaluate that. So simplify, anyone? X
Times
to the
1.
6th power times 1/2. X muna, the base muna, x. So raised to the 6th power over x to the 3rd power or x cubed. Thank you for that. So your answer is x cubed. Example number 4. So we have x to the 5th, y to the 10th, raised to the 1/5 power. Ayan. So this is now a combination of two laws of exponent. The first one is, of course, the power of a power. And then the second one is the quotient of a power. Or power of a quotient pala. Power of a quotient. So what we're going to do is to distribute the exponent to each element inside the quantity. So ganito yon. So let's start with the base x. Okay, yung x muna. So ang exponent niya sa loob is 5. So syempre, multiply nyo dun sa labas na exponent. So that is 1/5. And then we proceed with y. Ayan. Ang exponent niya naman ay 10. And then you multiply it by 1/5 also. So ang nakita natin is the distribution of the exponent outside the quantity to each exponent of each element inside the quantity. So nakuha ba yon? Dinistribute lang natin yung 1/5. Okay. So, i-simplify ng natin silang magkahiwalay, no? So, kasi magkaiba silang base. So, yung x, x lang siya, yung y, y lang siya. So, let's start with x. So, we simplified x as x raised to 5/5. Okay? We multiply 5 to the numerator. Followed by y. So, we multiply 10 to 1. So, that is 10/5. Okay? And then, simplify lang din natin, magkahiwalay. X muna. What is 5/5? 1. So, x na lang siya. Hindi na natin ilalagay yung 1. How about sa y? Ano ng exponent ng y? 10 divided by 5. Okay? So, your final answer is xy squared. Okay? Would that be clear? Okay, tingnan natin. Let's have another example. Kayo naman na magsasagot. Let's say we have here a to the 16th, y to the 8th, raised to 1/4. Sige. You solve it first on your notes. Sige, taas natin. Let's have the next one. So let's have now the pure fractions. We have 2 raised to 4/3, quantity raised to 3/2. Okay, so what you can see now, ang exponent natin inside the quantity is already a fraction. And of course, the exponent outside the quantity is also a fraction. So the same manner lang, we're just going to multiply the two fractions and we're just going to apply the operations on fractions on these two. So first thing is we need to copy the, what do we call this? Copy the base, 2. So ang base natin ay 2. After that, raise to 4/3 times, okay, or multiply to the exponent outside the quantity. So as you can see now, we're going to multiply two fractions. And then, on that manner, when we multiply two fractions, minumultiply lang natin yung numerator to the numerator and denominator to the denominator. And after that, we simplify, okay? So, copy the base 2, multiply the numerator to the numerator and denominator to the denominator. So that is 4 times 3, that is equal to 12, over 3 times 2, which is equal to 6. And then of course, we're going to simplify. 12 divided by 6 is 2. So copy the base, simplify. 12 divided by 6 is 2. And then multiply sa sarili twice. So that is 2 times 2. So our resulting expression is 4. So this is now the simplest form of this example. Okay, let's have another. Let's say we have x raised to 2/3 raised to 3/2. Okay, ako muna. Copy the base, x. Copy the exponent inside the parentheses, that is 2/3. Multiply to the exponent outside, which is 3/2. And that is equal now to, copy the base, x. And then we have 2 times 3, 6. Over 3 times 2, 6. And then 6 divided by 6. What is 6 divided by 6?
1.
1. So we have now x raised to the first power. Or kasi nga, pag 1 na lang yung exponent, we don't need to write it na. So the answer is x. Any question? Example number 8. So we have, let's say, 3 raised to 1/2 raised to 8 over 2. Okay, thank you so much. So proceed na tayo sa next situation. Okay, let's have number 9. Okay, so we have now x raised to 4/5 multiplied to x raised to 1/5. Okay, so ang nakikita nyo ngayon ay dalawang base at dalawang magkaibang exponent. So at in this moment, we're going to apply naman product rule. This is a product rule eh. Sa ibang libro kasi ang tawag dito is product rule. Or dun sa lesson natin last time, that is product of a power. Okay? So product of a power, ano bang ginagawa kapag product of a power? Okay, so i-add natin yung exponent as long as they have the same bases. Okay? So hindi natin yun pwedeng gawin kapag magkaiba yung base. So in this particular example, ang base natin ay x. And then they have the same base. So you just copy the base. So sabi ni Marcy, this is product of a power, so ang gagawin lang natin is to add the exponents. So we have 4/5 plus 1/5. And another good thing here is that the two fractions are similar. When we say similar, parehas yung denominator. So kapag parehas yung denominator, ang gagalawin lang natin is the numerator. So i-add natin yung numerator over yung common denominator. So ikakopy lang natin yung denominator. So in this manner, we have x raised to 4 plus 1 is 5. Tapos kokopyahin nyo lang kasi parehas yung denominator, kokopyahin nyo lang. Okay? So magiging x raised to 5 over 5. And then you simplify, 5 over 5 is 1. So your answer is x na lang. Okay? So another. Number naman. Let's say we have 4 raised to 6/5 na lang. Times must be, para maayos, 4. Okay, 6 over 5 plus 4 over 5. So again, this is just a similar fraction. So this is now 4 raised to 6 plus 4 is 10. Tapos kopyahin lang denominator na 5. 10 over 5 is 2. So we have now 4 squared. And then, what is your final answer here? 10. Okay. Sige, kayo naman. Okay, let's see. Any of the two. This time, we will be dealing with dissimilar fractions. Okay, start the first one. We have x raised to 2/5 times x raised to 1/2. So, at this moment, we will be dealing with dissimilar fractions. When we say dissimilar fractions, those are the fractions that has different denominator. Okay? So, again, this is only applicable for the expressions with the same bases. So, parehas na x ang base nila. So, you copy x. And then you raise 2/5. We have 2/5 multiplied, plus pala, sorry. Plus 1/2. So, at this particular manner, magkaiba yung, yung denominator. So, by that, we need the LCD. So, what is the LCD of 5 over 2? 5 and 2. So, ang gagawin doon, yung sinasabi ni Marcy, kukunin nyo yung, dito muna ha, kukunin nyo yung denominator natin na magkaiba, yung 2 tsaka 5. Tapos mag-skip counting tayo. Let's say for example, dun sa 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and so on. Tapos sa 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yung pinakaunang number na magkakapareha silang dalawa nung sa counting, yun yung LCD. What number is that? Pinakauna ha, yung pinakamaliit. So that is 10. Sa 10 sila unang nag-meet. So therefore, ang LCD natin is 10. So may LCD na tayo. Balik tayo dito. Yun yung pinakamabilis. So, ina-advise ko yun na lang gamitin kasi maliliit na number lang naman yung gagamitin natin dito. So, let's go back here. So, X. Tapos, papalitan na natin ng 10 yung denominator ng dalawa. So, simplify natin. Ang gagawin lang, divide nyo sa original denominator and then multiply to the numerator. Okay? So, tingnan natin. 10 divided by 5 is 2 times 2 is 4. Nakuha doon? I-divide nyo sa original denominator tapos i-multiply sa original numerator. Again, 10 divided by 5 is 2 times 2 is 4. So yun yung ilalagay nyo dito sa bagong fraction. Tapos yung 1/2 naman, 10 divided by 2 is 5 times 1 is 5. Pag okay na, simplify na yan. Kasi similar fraction na yan, automatic 10 ang denominator. So ang gagalawin na lang natin yung taas. I-add natin. 4 plus 5 is 9. Kung wala nang lowest term, katulad niya, 9/10, this is already in lowest term, yun na yung final answer natin. Clear? Okay, let's have an example. Try nyo. Try nyo muna sa sarili nyo. Okay, so let's have b raised to 2/3 times b raised to 3/5. Okay, go ahead. I'll give you time to do that. Okay, so we have here 4 raised to 5/3 over 4 raised to 2/3. Dun sa nakapanood ng video lesson last time, ano ang i-apply nating law? Quotient of powers. So, sana alam ng iba. Tingnan natin. Sa quotient of powers, anong ginagawa sa exponent? Subtract. Okay, so we subtract. Again, this is only applicable to expressions with same bases. Okay, so ang base natin ay 4, copy 4. Tapos, exponent muna ng numerator ang mauuna. 5/3 minus the exponent of the denominator, 2/3. Okay? Dahil kagandahan dito, similar fraction, copy the base, at ang denominator natin is 3. Kasi nga similar naman sila. So pag similar, kokopyahin lang. Ang gagalawin lang natin is the numerator, minus natin. 5 minus 2 is 3. Very good. Okay, so simplify natin. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So hindi na natin lalagay. The final answer is 4. Okay? So walang problema kapag kapag similar. 16 tayo. Okay, let's say we have variable muna. A raised to, let's see. 11 halves over a raised to 3 halves. Okay, go ahead. Sino gusto mag-recite? Similar fraction pa lang yan. That's just a similar fraction. So this time, iso-subtract natin. Dito yung 6/4, tapos 1/2. Ayan. So we have 6/4 minus 1/2. Kapag ganyan minus. Ano ang LCD nito? 4. Probably. Okay? So ganun din. 4 divided by 4 is 1 times 6. So ito yung mapupunta dito. Tapos 4 divided by 2 is 2 times 1. Okay? Tapos simplify. Dahil similar na sila, copy nyo na lang yung denominator. Tapos simplify yung taas. 6 minus 2 is 4. Ayan, 4 divided by 4 is 1. So, y na lang siya. Okay? Let's have number 18. Last na to. O kayo sasagot. Okay, so let's have x raised to 5/7 over x raised to 2/5. Okay, go ahead. Do you have any further questions? Goodbye.